welcome, everybody. Thank you for listening. This is your girl, Lady Princess, and you're mixing it up with Lady Princess right here and Intellectual Radio. I had to say that a million times because my super producer. But I have a special guest. If you guys are tuning in, if you're looking live, you can go to IntellectualRadio.com to look live, or you can call us in at 708-223-8953. Remember, my subject tonight is to judge or not judge. That is the question. So I have a great friend of mine that I met with a wonderful woman of mine who was also on here last time, Judge Rosado. And now remind you, let me give you a little history. He's the only and the first, because he made history, so I like history, Hispanic judge in the appellate court. Am I correct?
Well, I'm the first elected judge to the appellate court. The first appointed was Judge David Serta.
Okay.
So he was the first appointed, but I was the first elected to the Illinois Appellate Court, First District.
First District. So I'm going to let him give you a little introduction about who he is. And, don't ask his age. Don't ask none of that. You can't marry him. You can't date him. He's going to give you a little history. So this ain't the dating game. So we're going to be having some fun today. We're going to have some questions about some celebrities. So, Judge, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your radio show. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah. And my name is Jesse Reyes. I'm a judge on the Illinois Appellate Court, First District, and I've been on the court since 2012.
Wow.
Prior to that, I was on the circuit court as a trial judge for a number of years, and I had a great opportunity to sit in a variety of different assignments when I was on the circuit court.
Okay.
And then prior to going on the circuit court, I worked for the Board of Education. I worked in the policy and reform section of the Board of Education for the city of Chicago.
Mm.
And then prior to that, I was at the Corporation Counsel for the city of Chicago in the torts division, handling multi-million-dollar lawsuits on behalf of the city of Chicago.
Now I got a judge that done it all now. So wait, there's gonna be a lot of questions I got to say. No, I'm just kidding. So you worked in the school district as well. Now,
Yes.
is this your first elected position?
No, I ran to become a full circuit judge on the Circuit Court of Cook County.
Okay.
So that was my first election. And then the opportunity came along to run for the appellate court, and then I ran for the appellate court. But my first time running for any office at all was for the Circuit Court of Cook County.
Wow. Now we're looking to go higher. Then is it higher than is Supreme Court next, right? They stay there on 1,000 years now. I don't know if they're gonna give up those seats. I still think Moses is there. They stay there forever.
Right? Yeah, that's right.
So they stay there forever.
The tablets, right?
Exactly. They still got the tablets and stuff. They're still up there. So, but you are moving up. So, I mean, well, like I said, congratulations. And I'm glad you came to the show. So basically, I like to do a lot of things and ask questions, and have people chime in, such as like they have questionnaires like about different things. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever had somebody come to you? You don't do relationship court, right?
No. I didn't sit in domestic relations. I did sit in domestic violence court, but not in domestic relations court. Yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference is in domestic relations, you're seeking to dissolve a marriage. You're seeking to maybe attain child support or maintenance or things of that nature.
Really?
But basically, it's the dissolution of a marriage in domestic relations court. In domestic violence, unfortunately, those are misdemeanor cases. Some of them are felony, and it has to do with some type of abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse with someone within your household.
Really?
Yes.
So now what made you want to get into law? Did you start off as an attorney and then move up, or was that something as a kid? What made you want to do that?
Well, ever since I was little, I always wanted to be a lawyer. One of the things that always kind of fascinated me about lawyers is that they were who spoke on behalf of others. For those that they couldn't speak for themselves, so it was sort of kind of like being a knight in King Arthur's court, right? Going in there, in there and fighting on behalf of others. And that was the one thing that have always amazed me is how lawyers would just go in there and they would try to represent people, whether in criminal court and civil court, and try to do the best that they can for their clients. So I pursued a career in the law. Went to a University of Illinois at Chicago, and then John Marshall Law School, and I was fortunate to have a pretty successful career, both as a trial lawyer and as a judge.
Now, have you ever thought about writing any books?
Yeah, actually, I have. I've thought about writing books, particularly about procedural justice. I think it's important for people to realize that a lot of decisions that are made by the courts are not just cut and dry decisions, but there's a lot that goes into a decision that's made, whether it's at the U.S. Supreme Court, Illinois Supreme Court, or at any level of our judicial system. There's thought that goes into these decisions,
right?
And I think it's important that people realize that there is procedural justice out there, that it's just not cut and dry in terms of justice, in terms of just saying okay, granted or denied.
Okay. See, we got callers calling in. You are popular by demand. Is that a caller? He's got to set it up. That means the judge is in the house. See, I'll put it out to the judge and not the judge. Okay. Hello, caller. How you doing? I'm good. What's your name, caller?
Barbara.
Hi, Barbara. What's your question?
Hi. I was wondering if the judge had some advice for families out there who are trying to get their kids and to achieve more. So if you have kids that you want to get to become a lawyer or a judge one day, how do you help them get there?
That's a very good question. Thank you, Barbara. I think one of the most important things for parents to do is to become involved in their children's education, no matter what level that may be. Read with them, read along with them, read to them. But I think reading is important. Absolutely. And also stay interested in their education. Always ask, how they're doing in school, how's their homework going along. Focus them on making sure that they study instead of watching television or being on the computer,
right,
laptop or whatever they do. I think that's important. And then also stay interested in their education by going to the school and talking to the teachers, to their professors, finding out how they're doing. Are they and maybe not doing so well in a particular area? I think those are important things as well. And then for those that don't have the financial wherewithal or the financial means to have their children go to college or beyond, look to see what type of organizations offer scholarships. There's a lot of organizations out there that provide financial assistance along with the government. But there's a variety of different not-for-profit organizations that provide scholarships for people in college and in law school. I'm fortunate to be president of a not-for-profit called the Diversity Scholarship Foundation, and we give out scholarship to needy and qualified law students.
Say the name again.
The Diversity Scholarship Foundation.
Did you hear that, Barbara?
I did. I'm writing down.
Okay, and do you have a phone number for that program?
Oh, I have to dig it up, but I do have one.
Okay.
Is there something online?
Yes, you could go on the diversityscholarship.org. You can go online and get information about the organization. There's a website about the Diversity Scholarship Foundation.
Okay, and this website that we're going on, this is for children. What is the age?
This is for law students that need financial assistance to continue on with their education. A lot of people don't realize that, particularly for those that have to study to take the bar exam, the students are no longer eligible for loans. So because they're no longer law students and they're not lawyers yet, right? But yet the bar prep courses are pretty expensive. And through the Diversity Scholarship Foundation, we provide scholarships up to $5,000 for them to be able to take those courses, because those courses are very important to them, and it's necessary for a lot of the students to take these courses in order to be able to prevail in taking the bar exam. We also have a scholarship for disabled students who have disabilities. We have scholarships for those that want to work in the public sector. They want to do work with the court system, or want to work with one of the not-for-profits that provide assistance to needy families. So we provide assistance as well as for those. And then some of them, they want to work within the judiciary, work in the courthouse, work with judges through what's known as the Judicial Intern Opportunity Program.
Thank you, Barbara. Okay, so we're going to have another caller. Judge, you're hot. So basically, you have a program. I mean, this is the hottest judge out there. He not only is he helping people, but he's saving lives. Because if you want to get into education, especially as an attorney, he's making it a way. He has a non-for-profit and he's doing his job. That's why I said this is going to be a highlight for tonight. So we have another caller calling in, Judge. So you ready for these calls?
Sure.
And so get that phone number, so we want to make sure they know what this nonprofit is, so we can have people ready to join. Especially there's a lot of people who have who wants to be attorneys,
right,
and judges, especially the youth that's coming up. Are you ready for my next caller? Okay. So again, you're tuning into our radio station. This is Mixing Up with Lady Princess, and I have Mr. Judge Reyes, appellate court judge Reyes here. So let me go ahead and get the next caller. Hey, caller, how you doing?
Hi, good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Carol.
Hi, Miss Carol. And Carol, you're calling from?
Calling in from Park Ridge. I'm calling to say hi to Justice Reyes.
All righty. Well, you have a question for him?
I do. So, in your experience with your career, what type of adversity have you overcome, if any?
Well, I think number one for me, I had to work my way through school.
Yeah.
Because my parents weren't able to afford to send me to college or to law school. So that was one of the main adversities that I had to overcome, is being able to still go to school, but yet work to be able to afford to go to school. For those of your listeners who are of a young age or at any age that they want to pursue their goal, I would advise them and suggest, keep going for what it is that you want, because you could obtain it. You can reach your goal. Absolutely. It might be a little harder, might take you a little bit longer than others, but if you keep just keeping that goal in mind and going for it, you can. And I'm an example of that, because it took me a little bit longer than most, because I had to work my way through, but I did. And that's one of the reasons why I like giving back and making sure that I reach back and help others, because I think it's important not to forget where you came from and to be able to provide opportunities for other people.
Judge Reyes is the people's judge. Thank you, caller.
Okay, thank you.
Wow. So now we have another. These phones are ringing off the hood. So I am so glad that I told you, we put out there to judge and not to judge. You can call in too and ask the judge any questions. And so he's here for you. Hold on, we got another caller. Hello, caller. How you doing? Hello. Hi, caller. What's your name?
Lisa.
Hey, Lisa. What area are you calling from?
From downtown Chicago.
Downtown Chi-Town. All right. So you got a caller for the judge?
I was wondering, now that Justice Reyes is on the appellate court, is there anything he misses about being on the circuit court?
That's a good question.
Yes, I do miss the circuit court. I missed the opportunity to have a constant conversation with the lawyers, and I missed the trials. I missed that type of action. It was always fun, having being in courtrooms where you had trials going on and having lawyers there presenting their cases. And you never knew sometimes what was going to happen. So it was that part of it was the unpredictability was always interesting. In the appellate court, it's a little more predictable. You know what you have, and then you do the research and you're writing. But when you're on the trial bench, sometimes, not always, but sometimes something unexpected will happen. And so as the judge, you have to make sure you maintain, first of all, decorum in the courtroom, and then try to resolve whatever the problem may be. And then sometimes you have to think outside the box.
Right.
All right. And then that's what was the it's easy to lock somebody up, but the thing is that going to help, number one, the person? Is that going to help the parties involved? And is that going to help society? I mean, if you have someone with drug and alcohol substance problems, just locking them up is not necessarily the answer. Getting them into a program and monitoring them and making sure that they fulfill their classes and do everything they're supposed to do, and hopefully maybe at the end stop doing the drugs, stop doing the alcohol, and becoming a productive member of society, I think is the answer. So sometimes it's the statute may recall, and sometimes you might have to, but if there's an opportunity where maybe you can help someone and make a difference in their life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The people, Judge, does that answer your question?
It does, and I look forward to a time in the future when I can ask him what he misses about the appellate court when he's on the Supreme Court.
I agree. We just got to get those pamphlets away from him. Have a good one.
Oh, and you had asked me the number for the Diversity Scholarship Foundation is 312 588 5000.
5,000. And anybody can call there.
Anybody can call there, and then they could also go on our, like I said, on our website, and get information off of the website as well. And it's diversityscholarshipfoundation.org.
And this is for education purposes. So if you know, so you're listening and you're looking in, even on Facebook Live. I want Facebook Live because I felt that this was going to be some important information. If you have somebody who wants to become an attorney or wants to get into law school or needs some assistance, right here is going to make sure that, and they're going to tell you how to qualify, right? Everything's on the website, and how to go up and to get involved and enroll, correct? Now, do they have to be a first-year law school, or do they have to be attending?
I mean, if they want to get involved, they want to participate and get involved in a Diversity Scholarship Foundation. First-year law students can definitely do that if they want to. I always recommend that first-year law students just to stick to the books, study hard, and then in your second and your third year, get involved, because that first year sometimes can be very hard. But yeah, if in their first year they want to become involved in the foundation, we take all volunteers. Yes, so it doesn't matter what year you're in. And we also have for students, college students who want to study for the LSAT, the law school admissions test. Because again, some of them can't afford to pay for it on their own. And so again, we provide a scholarship for college students looking to become lawyers.
Now, is there an age limit on this?
No, there's no age limit. No, not at all. There's no age limit. So
somebody can be 50, 65.
Sure. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Any age. Yeah. I mean, we.
Y'all think about going back to law school.
Some people, have to decide they want to try something else.
Right.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I mean, there are lawyers who were nurses, who were accountants beforehand. They had a career, and then they decided they wanted to go to law. So yeah, that doesn't matter what age.
Super producer, you ain't got no questions, huh?
It doesn't matter what age you are. You could apply for the scholarship. And one of the things that we've done through the scholarships, we started out providing scholarships for students in the Chicago area, and then we expanded to the state of Illinois, and now we cover what's known as the Seventh Circuit, which is the federal circuit that we sit in, and which includes Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin. So we provide scholarships to students in those three states. Eventually, we'll expand, but I don't want to kill our scholarship committee as of yet.
Because you got to do a lot of fundraisers.
Right, we got to do a lot of fundraisers, and we get a lot of requests. Last year, we gave close to $50,000 in scholarships. So, our scholarship selection committee does a great job going through all of the applications, reviewing them, and then ranking them and determining which ones,
So do they have to write a paper? I mean, how would they obtain?
They have to fill out an application
Okay,
provide us with information about their grade point average. What have they done to help promote diversity, within their law school or within the community, things of that nature. So there's a variety of different things that we look at, not just one thing. We don't just look at their grades, but we look at everything else in terms of their involvement. And we're doing now this year also to continue further promoting diversity is that we have a cable program on CAN TV, where we've been highlighting the various ethnic and bar association presidents.
Wow, on the TV. Hold on 1 second. Hold that thought. Hey, caller, how you doing?
Hello.
Hi, caller. Who am I speaking with?
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer, what area are you calling from?
From Chicago.
Chi-Town in the house. What's your question for the judge?
Justice Reyes, what advice would you give to law students about financials going into law school? We hear all this about crushing student debt and, and jobs not, people not being able to pay back their loans. So what advice would you give to someone when they're considering law school, how to approach that?
First of all, and thank you for the question. That's a great question. First of all, I think that if you're going to approach law school, look at what scholarships there are available for entry-level students. Some of the law schools will have scholarships, and in some cases, you might get a free ride. So look at the law school number one to see what they have available and what you're eligible for in terms of funding and scholarships. If you're a veteran or if you worked in law enforcement, those type of areas, there's special type of scholarships that might be available to those individuals. So I think that's number one. If you apply for a loan, then apply for a loan where you know that this is the certain amount that you're going to need. Don't take out a loan that's way more than you need, because you're going to have to pay it back. So so I definitely would recommend, look at what it's going to cost you. If you have to work, factor that in and make a determination how much you really need. Because in some instances, some of the banks will give you, a truckload of money, but at the end of the day,
they want a truckload back.
They want it back, right? Okay. A truckload plus,
and
right?
Firstborn,
right, yeah, right. And then the other thing is, I think, particularly after you've finished your first year, start looking at internships, externships, particularly with judges. Try to make yourself look attractive to future employers, particularly if you go into the litigation area. If you have that you did a summer externship with a judge or someone in the appellate court, law firms will like that, because they always want to know, what is that wizard doing behind the curtain, right? So this way, that would help, you at least get your foot in the door. And then, just be proactive in terms of looking for employment. You might not get the dream job right away, but it'll come. Sometimes you might have to wait a while before that opportunity in terms of the dream job. But you just have to keep pursuing it. But the market's improved a little bit better now than it was in the past. In the past, it was a few years ago, it was pretty tough. It's gotten a little bit better now. So the opportunities are out there, and then also the opportunities are there to work in not-for-profit as well. You're not going to get paid a lot, but you're going to get an opportunity to do some good work, and then also look to government. In government, you're also not going to get paid well, but you're going to get the experience. And that's what employers want. They want people with experience. Everybody wants you to have experience. No one wants to provide you the opportunity to get the experience. But if you go into government, you'll get that experience, and then you become very marketable after that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Loving these questions, and they're coming like a hot potato. I just posted it one time, Judge. What you mean? We made some calls that coming in. Well, we want you to call in. We want to make sure that all your questions are answered. Now, you talked about getting experience, and I
Yes.
want to really talk on that because a lot of people don't believe that sometimes people will take experience over sometimes the schooling. Because I just to let you know, Judge, a little about me, I own a staffing company, and so we get people. I got a guy who had a master's degree but had no experience. It's people who, but the same thing, experience over the
Oh, sure.
education.
Yeah, experience I think is definitely a plus, because like again, like you said, no one wants to provide you the opportunity to get the experience, but they want you to have it already. And particularly in the legal area, if you work in government, you have most of the offices have supervisors, so it's not like they just throw you in there. You're going to have somebody watching over you, kind of guiding you, trying to teach you the ropes in terms of doing the right things in the courtroom. Government is a great place for that, and then also for the opportunities. When I was at the city, I was a relatively young lawyer, and I got an opportunity to try um, some major cases early on in my professional life, and as a result of that, that made me more marketable later on,
Right.
for other people that were I was looking at in terms of employment. So I think experience is a definite plus, and particularly in government. And again, like I said, if you can afford it, pursue it. I think it's definitely something that you should look at. And one of the things also is sometimes there's a long list of people, right? But if you're mobile and if you can maybe go work in another county, for example, if the state's attorney's got a long list here in Cook County,
Go to
then
DuPage County or
go
Will.
to DuPage, Will, Lake.
Yes,
So I think look at those opportunities as well. Just don't stay focused in on one. And then eventually, if you want, you can come back and try to apply Cook.
absolutely.
Because then you already got the experience, and they'll say, okay, well,
Well,
we'll
you
take
come on
it.
in, right? You know how to file these files away. So my question is, what's the difference between the circuit, even though I know what the difference is, but maybe the
Sure.
viewers doesn't. What's the difference between the circuit court and the appellate court? Because I know with the circuit court, you hear every case. With the appellate court, you really don't see the people.
Right. Yeah.
So-
So the circuit court is basically the trial court. So like traffic court, like we mentioned earlier, domestic relations,
Right.
criminal court. So it's all the various trial courts. And the reason we call it circuit is because in Cook County and in the state of Illinois, we're divided up into circuits. And what a lot of people may not know is that the Circuit Court of Cook County is the largest circuit in the country. It has the most, yeah. So trial courts are within the circuit. And if you have a trial or you have some type of a dispute at the trial level and you're not happy with it, you have the right to appeal. Now, you have an automatic right of appeal. In a criminal side, you'll have to pay for that appeal, but you have the right to appeal. And then you could appeal the case, and then it'll come to the appellate court. And then we'll look at it and we'll make a determination whether or not it's a case that we should take. Because sometimes the issue might be moot, which means it's already gone. So we don't have anything to resolve, or maybe it's too soon. Maybe there's other cases intertwined with your case, and we have to wait till we get all the cases. So it might be too soon to take it. But after that, then if we determine that we do have jurisdiction to take the case, then we'll look at it, and then whatever you felt that was the issue, whether it was the trial judge, it was the jury, or it was something that the parties did, or maybe your lawyer did, or whatever, then we'll look at that issue and then make a determination. One of the things people don't really realize is that when a case gets appealed, you tell us what the error is. All right. So, so we don't go looking through everything saying, okay, well, this was an error. This was an error. This is, you tell us, okay, this is the error. This is what we want you to look at. And this is what we want you to consider. And then, we'll take a look at it, and then we'll make a, ruling one way or another.
Wow. Now, how it ever came to you, or you had a case, I'm just gonna, I'm not talking about cases, but it came to an appellate court, and I've seen cases, I've been reading the law book, that the appellate court can overturn the circuit case.
Right. Yes. Yeah. We call that reversal.
Okay.
So if we find it, whatever happened at the trial level was error, we could reverse either the trial court, or maybe it was a jury. Maybe it was the jury's decision, the jury verdict. So there, but we can't reverse it. Sometimes what we do is we might reverse the case, but then we might remand it with instructions. So we might say, okay, so this is what was in error, but we're sending it back, and we want you, trial court, to look at this. All right. And then the one that all the trial judges, of course, like is what we call is affirmed. That means we affirm the trial court.
Okay.
But and then sometimes there's a situation where we might reverse part of the decision, but affirm the other part of it. So like if there was two different issues that was presented to us, we might say, well, on the one issue, we're going to affirm the trial court, there was no error here, but on the other one, we might determine that there was error, and we're going to reverse it.
What about a settlement? What if somebody came to you and they had a settlement, and in the circuit level, it was a settlement, but one of the parties really wasn't okay with the settlement, but the judge was kind of like, had a judge chambers and kind of like, well, forced and said, well, I think you should settle because you'll spend more money. So if you settle with this, you're okay. Do that ever come to an appellate court?
Well, it depends on terms of the issue. I mean, it might be an issue where the trial court abuses discretion, and in that case, but if you're not satisfied with the settlement, or if you're not, if it's not to your liking in terms of this is what you thought it was going to be, then you shouldn't enter into the settlement. Because once you enter into the settlement, then you're bound by the settlement.
I'm answering somebody's question.
Yeah.
Just
So number one, you have to make sure that you totally understand what are the parameters of the settlement. Sometimes there might be conditions to the settlement, and if that's the case, then you have to understand what are the conditions to the settlement, and make sure that you totally understand it. Promoting any lawyer in particular, but I think you should always have a lawyer, and always seek their advice in terms of is this the right course to take? Because sometimes you might want to try the case, but your lawyer might advise you to settle it. So sit down with the lawyer and ask exactly why is it that the lawyer is recommending a settlement. And after that, if you still feel that you still want to try it, it's your right. But on the other hand, if your lawyer is advising you to settlement, and then you sit down and you have a conference and you talk to the lawyer and you realize that maybe the best thing is to settle, then follow your lawyer's advice. But you should always understand all the conditions of the settlement before you enter into the settlement.
So I think I answered a lot of the questions. We're going to go ahead and take a musical break and turn on some fans. So we'll be right back. I'm going to put a pause to this call so you guys will see me right back. All righty. This is your girl mixing up a princess on Intellectual Radio. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is your girl mixing it up with Lady Princess, and we have Judge Reyes. I don't know why I want to say the Reyes. Judge Reyes here, the appellate court judge, the one and only. I call him the people judge. So we were talking earlier, and we were talking about, he was giving us some great advice. He also has a non-for-profit that helps anybody who wants to get into law. If you want to be an attorney, aspiring attorney, a student, he's the person. I mean, they actually have an organization that's helping. So that's why I call him the people person. He also is going to give you the website. Judge, can you give us that website?
Sure. It's diversitychicago.org.
That's diversitychicago.org.
Right.
And the phone number again?
It is 312-588-5000.
That's 312
588
588
5,000.
5,000. And you can call there. I mean, and what's the best time to call? What's their hours?
They could call at any time. If someone's not there, they'll have an answering machine there.
Okay. So they have that. And also, too, if you want to call in, ask any questions, we can call in at 708-223-8953. That's 708-223-8953. We'll be here, and it's 9 o'clock now, so you got to call in now. So my next thing. Now, do you watch any reality shows?
No.
Oh, no reality shows?
No.
Okay, what about the judge reality shows?
Nope.
Not at all?
No, because those are all for dramatic effect, right?
Okay.
Judges do not act like that.
They don't kick you out the court like that?
No. But you have to realize that this is for entertainment.
Okay.
And so the judges there are trying to be entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for dramatic effect, but no.
So, because when I go to court, I expect all the judges to do what either Judge Mathis do. I expect I expect them to do that.
Now, don't get me wrong. Judge Mathis is a very good man, and I had an opportunity to meet him, and but he's a performer. He's on the show. He's doing his job.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? At this last competition, did you hear about Judge Mathis and Wendy Williams got into it?
No, I didn't. No.
Judge Mathis and Wendy Williams. He was on Wendy Williams' show.
Okay.
And she made a comment. And boy, did he let her have it.
Really?
He talked to, yes, he let her have it. I think I got to show up. He let her have it. He really let her have it. I was like, do judges really act like that? Because I know he has this show. It's a reality show. And I'll play a little before we go out, but I'm going to let you know. He really let her have it. Yeah. Called her crackhead and everything.
Right. It's the same thing with the movies, that depict courtrooms,
right?
Like A Few Good Men. All right. First of all, that would never happen in a real courtroom, particularly in a military courtroom.
Yes.
That judge, if it was a real trial, he wouldn't have let Tom Cruise get away with half of that. All right?
Oh, okay. So that's just a movie.
So it's just a movie, and it's just for entertainment effect.
Wow.
But so it's entertaining. Maybe it'll inspire some young people to want to become lawyers one day, but
you can't do that in court.
No.
Okay.
No.
What about now? My next question: you don't do reality. What is your favorite music?
My favorite music? I have a variety. I like jazz. I like classical. So it's I have a little different when I'm working. Sometimes I'll listen to classical. Sometimes I'll listen to jazz.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I told you the people jazz. We got a jazz. We got to invite you to some jazz fest. What about that super producer? we got a appellate court judge who loving jazzy jazz. Okay, and so your favorite food?
Oh, that's variety, different type of food I love.
Really?
Yeah. I love it. Now that's one of my problems is
now have you ever tasted soul food?
Yes, I have.
I've
been to Pearl's on the south side.
Look at him. He dropping names, Pearl, giving free advertising on the south side. All right, what's your favorite dish?
Oh, I don't know. I like chitlins.
Oh my God, oh wow! I don't even do chitlins, Judge. You don't take it with. Ooh, you really sold because I don't even do chitlins. Yeah. People in Arkansas, Mississippi, probably said, "That's my judge." I don't even do chitlins. How you eat your chitlins?
Well, my mother's side, my family came from Texas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and I used to spend as a child, I used to spend a lot of time with my grandmother down in Dallas. So
wow.
So I got introduced to some good food down there. Yeah.
Wow, I see you done named out them chillings. What else?
Oh, chicken, fried chicken. I love fried chicken.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, you the people's judge for real. So, I'm trying to get to this video, super producer. I'm gonna skip this. This is Judge Mathis, with Wendy Williams. So, I want people to hear before we get out, because I want to make sure this is actually. Now, I love Judge Mathis, but he was really going in on Wendy Williams. This is Judge Mathis.
Here on the show, whether it's TV or radio, one thing that Wendy Williams does is keep it real with her audience. Now, my audience knows all about me and what I've been through, and what they don't know, I go into explicit details in my book. Now, that might not be true according to you about this woman that allegedly you slept.
Hold on. Here to get started. Okay, so Wendy Williams accused Judge Mathis of wanting to sleep with this woman.
Oh.
And he's a married man. Here you go.
Let me draw up the cemetery, Judge, and then you fill in the meat.
Wendy, I didn't read that part. Now you make it now.
Okay, let me draw
now
up.
WBLS about to be sued for defamation. You're going to make some stuff.
Okay, Judge, you are
even alleged.
Okay,
and that's called defamation.
All right.
That's called defamation, Wendy.
Okay.
She did not allege that.
All right, well,
I'll tell you what she alleged, and it wasn't that.
All right, you tell me what she alleged, Judge, in all of your anger.
I'm not angry.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm not angry. She said that she had an encounter with me when I was getting high.
Doing cocaine.
Yeah, doing
Brought to you
cocaine.
by
So they go on. Hold on.
Yes, you do. Action powder.
Okay, can we bring
Look
it
at her
close up?
nose. Doesn't look like
Can
you got
we
white
bring it
powder
close up?
around her nose.
You
got powder around your nose. Just take a look. It looks like it to me.
This is live.
You got white powder to me around your nose.
I don't know whether-
You still a dope fiend? I need to check you into rehab and pray for you.
Wow.
Sweetie. Let's go turn to Christ.
Okay, so I'll turn this on. So basically, Judge Mathis goes in on Wendy Williams. And my thing is, as a host, she should have had her facts together, because she was allegedly accusing him of something, and that wasn't it. But this is what I mean by, is this entertaining? I mean, this is what he does, right?
Well, that's what he does, and that's what she does.
Okay.
She has her talk show, and so she wants to create
dramatic
drama and to keep her, her viewers, in tune to her program. So
and to me, that was very negative.
And those courtroom programs, that's what they're designed to do, is to get you entertained and
So really much people don't believe the hype, because that's what it is. The hype is
well, hopefully they
get
don't.
you entertained. Well, reality shows have taken over, because now you got the Kardashians, and they had this newest thing where they calling Kim Kardashian the first lady. Did you read that?
No.
Okay, they call her the first lady of the United States. I'm like, so this is really out here. So you got the reality shows that people are putting a lot of energy, but I feel like, and I'm quite sure, Judge, you're gonna go with me on this. If they put energy on those books and schools and things like that, that we'll make a better society instead of this reality.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Because these realities is too much for me.
Right, and then sometimes a real life is more interesting than those reality programs.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have another caller to call in. Let me get the caller. Hey, caller, how you doing? Hey, caller.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, Joseph Rudo.
Okay, hey, Joseph. You got a question? Where you from first?
For Mr. Justice Reyes, I just wanted to know his take on issues concerning, how the appellate court would address sensitive issues like immigration in the state of Illinois with all this action today coming from Washington. How would it affect, implementation of the states, and how would the higher courts deal with the sensitive and critical issues such as status when it comes to immigration policy?
Well, thank you for the question. It's a great question because we normally don't deal with immigration issues. Like the ones that we're dealing with today. In terms of the Dreamers, those issues won't necessarily come in front of us. Those are more for federal court when we're in the state court.
Okay.
And also they might involve constitutional issues, which it would be up for the Supreme Court to make those decisions. So we wouldn't necessarily be dealing with issues with regards to immigration.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, so that's more of a federal level.
That's more of a federal level. Okay. I mean, sometimes there might be something intertwined with, in a criminal case with immigration issue. But overall, we wouldn't necessarily deal with immigration issues.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because the appellate court mostly deal with anything that comes from the civil court. Is that correct?
Right. The civil court and criminal court.
And criminal court. Yeah, so now that everybody get a great understanding of how the system works.
Right.
And anything state, because you're really state level, not really federal.
Right. We're state level. Right.
Okay. We got another caller. Hold on. Hey, caller, how you doing? Hey, caller, how you doing?
Yes, fine.
Okay. Can I get your name?
I just called. I was asking about the immigration matter, and I appreciate the judge's input addressing the concern that it was mainly of a federal issue. Insofar as the school issues currently, they're talking. Karen Lewis from the Chicago Public Schools Teachers Union. They were discussing about pending lawsuits concerning budgetary components, and I don't know whether or not I think that would be more of a state issue apparently, and if it gets to the state appellate courts, would they be looking to revise education policy as well as it directly affects school funding throughout the state of Illinois?
Again, thank you for the question. Again, it would depend on what the issue is in terms of policies. And procedures within the school system. Those would first have to go through an administrative hearing within the administrative courts to make a determination whether or not these policies were maybe abusive or they were discriminatory in any manner, shape, or form. So that would have to go through an administrative hearing first. After the administrative hearing, then those issues might come up to us. But then again, it also still depends on what is actually involved with regards to the issue. If a policy is, let's say, if it's a sports policy and the school's not following the school's sport policy, then that would be something that we might see, or procedure in terms of the school not providing safety equipment for children in the school. Those type of issues, those might come to us.
But there's still a process to go through.
There's still a process.
Right.
It has to go through the administration.
Right, before it comes to you. You're the last one who before the states. Right. Well, I want to thank you for being my guest today, Judge Reyes. This is the people's judge, and I'm always welcome you back here. So if you got something to say, shout out. I'm going to give you people your information. Go right ahead. I'm going to give you the mic and close it out. Go ahead, Judge.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, and time just flew by. I really enjoyed being on the program and listening to the questions from your listeners. So again, I'd love to come back in the
Absolutely.
future.
You better. This is Intellectual Radio. This is your girl, mixing it up with Lady Princess, and I got my judge, and we're out of here. See you next Tuesday at 8 o'clock.